Hi, I'm Shay, Bess. So we were at dinner last night, and as we were talking, I was looking at Ted Wagner, and I was like, you know, I've got a picture of him on my computer. And actually, there was tremendous synergies between who we are, namely the International Spine Study Group, and Seattle, and it all kind of runs through TED. And so this group actually started, let's see if it works here. What's the next one? Yeah, good. It started as the ISOLA study group. And the purpose, and I'm going to have Ted talk just a little tiny bit, because I think it's important. The group started as a user group, initiated initially by Mark Asher, and I'm going to go through this really quickly here, but there you can see this picture from 1995, and this was actually the first ISSG meeting, which was really interesting. And it started as a user group talking about experiences that they had with using the ISOLA instrumentation. And I think at the time, and Ted, you can probably speak to this, it was impactful for the usership. However, as things have then since come to evolve, there were pressures to then form it into a study group and a research entity and have less of the efforts go toward product discussion and product promotion, which is where then this group then came in. Do you want to say a little tiny thing into Ted Wagner's in the back of the room, but you can see the people on there. There's Baruzek Barnia on the far left in the white with the tie in the middle. That's Jake Heinig, is that right? Yeah, and then I don't know, who's the guy in the white shirt, or I'm sorry, the blue shirt next to you, Ted?
Jefferson, who's an engineer.
Right, and then there's Ted Wagner, and then there's Mark Asher, and then there's Obi Bawachi. So this is really the inceptions in terms of where we came from and, you know, our founding fathers. So I think really hats off to Ted Wagner, who not only, you're going to, as you all know, is one of the real pioneers of spine surgery, but also we're indebted to our inception to him. So hats off to you, Ted. Thank you.
I'm going to try to, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a scope of my cords, and they injected it with some hyaluronidase. So my cords are swelling up, fine cords, and so I'm protecting it. But there's some history here because Art Steffi was considered the American who first developed the pedicle screw business. And Art Steffi's work was done basically with plates and screws. It was simple work. But there was, but Art Steffi didn't know much about spinal performance. So the team that we're talking about now, really led by Mark Asher, who decided that we needed a system that would improve on the Harrington idea of a fixed rod with no adjustment. So what happened is the system developed and it became the ISOLA system. ISOLA is a name that came from the butterfly in Colorado, where we were at a meeting, where we had made up a meeting, and we were there, and we were looking at a plate to fill to cover the sacrum, to get a sacral fixation. And it was shaped like a butterfly that landed, a white butterfly called it. So that's how the name came.
Interesting.
This organization began to be, and the ISOLA equipment began to be involved. Probably a little unlike your meeting, we were at a time when we could actually produce the equipment that day. So we would come to the a sheet of paper and a lot of drawings. We'd go down to the lab and we would create it in plastic. And then on Sunday, we would weld this stuff together and make instruments. And then we would have it ready for trial. Now, it's no secret that some of that got used and planted very quickly. And it was the times. And so Isola really became the thinking around forming. And there's an offset that's attached to the rod. For those of you who can remember that, that allows you to readjust all of your rotation where your screws are going to go. And so, however, it revolved around one company. So the way this whole thing got going was it was only done through Johnson & Johnson. And they eventually bought the company. So you have to understand that there was a single company sort of involved in the whole thing. And the patents for it have gone past their time, but they are available and they've moved to create and reproduce that overseas. That's sort of the end of it. Jay Heinings was probably 3 times as smart as anybody else standing up there. And he was a real barnyard mechanic. And he could think through things very clearly and he forgot very little. And so he died this last year. And he was a big part of it.
You know, it's interesting, seeing that slide there. I mean, there's 3 SRS presidents. These individuals, I think all of us in the ISSG have all had the opportunity to be blessed to working with one or more of the people, again, on that slide. And so, again, hats off. Let me give a round of applause to Ted. For all of his work and for really kind of laying the groundwork for the things that we have become. And so since that time, with the pressures to be productive, just like any kind of business then has, we formed a foundation, which is a non-for-profit research foundation. We have our 501c3, probably similar to the SSF, that we formed in 2010, but then began to make this more kind of a research entity and then a business, where we now have an online database, and then all the data is uploaded for all our studies online, and then the images are uploaded and sent to Hospital for Special Surgery to Dr. Lafarge and her team. We have 4 full-time employees that are central coordinators for the group, and also have a legal and accountant team that work with us then as well. And we've divided then the group up into different working sections. Dr. Lafarge does benchmarking and best practice guidelines. Chris Ames, Justin, and Dr. Protopsaltis and Pashis, who are here today, do the cervical group. Dr. Kleinberg does complications. Frank Schwab does complex. Rick Hostin does economics. Lafarge and Ames do ethnicity, Praveen Mimanini and Greg Mundis do MIS. Virginia also, Dr. Lafarge also does PJK, and then there's a predictive analytics group as well. And so we are able then to divide up our workflow then into these sections. Then each section will then submit abstracts, and we meet 5 times a year to come together to analyze and share our data together, and then work on projects together. And so these are our abstract productivity kind of from 2009 then up to 2018. And again, you can see, going back here, in 2009, you can see very low. This is us just getting started as our data then begins to mature. And then you can see now, right around 2019, we hover right about 80 abstract production per year for submission. And then we usually produce about 100 and 110 abstracts as a group. And then we whittle through them and take the best of those. And we've kind of settled on kind of on 80. And so this is what it looks like for the SRS productivity. And then this is what it looks like for NAS. And then these then are the metrics that we have for each of the groups, showing, okay, how you performed each year at each separate meeting, and what can we then do to get better. So in light of that, where we are now from a research standpoint, one of the things that we saw as a bit of a pitfall is how we actually disseminate that research. And so you can see you spend 30, 40, 50 hours on an abstract or a project, and then you get a rush on the podium, you get 4 minutes to present it, and then you write it up, and you spend another 40 hours writing it up and doing the revisions for it, and then it sits on the bathroom floor in somebody's restroom, and nobody reads it. And so what we wanted to do with this meeting was to create a more relaxed session where we can talk about the things that we hold important and pull up what we believe to be the most impactful research that we've done in specific areas over the past year. And so, I mean, we're delighted to partner with SSF on this because they do such a good job then of pushing out information, right? And so there's a real difference between a research entity and an information dissemination entity. And so to have this partnership, again, where we can, in a relaxed forum, discuss conceptually what our thoughts are for these topics, and then share them in a format where, again, we can talk about the aspects of it, but then also carry it over into the lab. So I'm delighted and honored, again, one, to be out here, but then also that our faculty came out. Dr. Lafarge is going to give the first talk. She is the head of spine research at Hospital for Special Surgery. She is, I'm sure everybody in the room as well as on the internet right now and who watches this knows who Virginie Lafarge is. She's probably one of the most famous researchers right now in the world for spine research, and has truly impacted the way we think about and then do spine surgery and research. Peter Pashis and Themi Protopsaltis, both at NYU, came out. Dr. Protopsaltis is the chief of spine at NYU. Dr. Pashis is faculty as part of the NYU, critical members and world leaders in spine research, especially for the cervical spine. And then Eric Kleinberg, who's the chief of spine, as well as vice president at UC Davis and full professor, has come out as well and pulled out of his call schedule to talk to us. Dr. Kleinberg runs the complications section for us and is really rethinking the way and classifying how we look at complications, and it's probably going to change the way all of us in research record and assess how complications then are measured.